Hey, I'm Vin, and this is Given Space. For the next few minutes, we're going to sit with one feeling, idea, social norm, identity, or just whatever might be weighing on us in this moment. Together, we'll explore where it comes from, why it lingers, and give it room to breathe without trying to fix anything. So get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's give it some space. In this more unserious episode, we're going to be talking about Instagram Face, because I have been seeing it literally everywhere, and it's been on my mind, especially in regards to current celebrities after the Stranger Things Season 5 release. If you know, you know. This is going to be formatted a bit differently. I'm still going to go over the what and why of Instagram Face, but the actual giving it space part of this episode will be less meditative and more supportive for those of us without Instagram faces. The reason this is such an interesting topic for me is because I'm seeing it everywhere, like I said. And as a chronically online person, that's saying something. I literally saw a Snapchat story the other day with the cover slamming Millie Bon Jovi for getting lip filler, which, by the way, I didn't have any problem with on the show or in real life, not that my opinion really matters. But the ironic part is that of all the Snapchat stories filled with influencers, AI generated images, and fake news, this one was the only one using a real image of a real celebrity mentioning a trending topic like Instagram Face. But, anyways, it got me thinking about how beauty standards change so much and how, as a society, we used to celebrate uniqueness, yet now we slam people for not following trends and then slam them if they do follow trends. And I'll be doing a whole episode about beauty standards later, both in men, women, the queer community, and so on. So this is all just a preface for episodes to come. Anyways, back to business. While there is no official definition for what Instagram Face is, Wikipedia as well as the New Yorker define it as a young, cyborgian, yes, that is the actual word that they use, face with smooth skin and plump high cheekbones, cat-like eyes and long, cartoonish lashes with a small, neat nose and full, lush lips. That was a mouthful. Good lord. That's so much to fit in one sentence. How can you even fit all of that on one face? Anyways, right now I'm picturing like Starfire from Teen Titans, specifically in the comic books where she has like the really thick auburn hair and the full lush lips and neat nose and like the really sharp jawline. I don't know why. She's just like, when I think of not Instagram Face specifically, but when I think of like picturesque feminine faces, I just think of Starfire's, which is ironic because she's an alien. Anyways, again, off topic. The Instagram Face trend could also likely describe half of Hollywood and half of the Instagram influencers I know. It was tokened Instagram Face because of the popular beauty filters accessible on the platform, which is commonly used and mainly used by women when posting on their stories or feeds. But the difference is, on Instagram, anyone can use a filter and then take it off later. But with the popularization of plastic surgery, it's not just a filter anymore. Now, these cyborgian, I like that word if you can't tell, these cyborgian faces are popping up on reality TV shows with women who are in their early 20s that you immediately would believe are at least 30. And they're in movies too, even period pieces. Yes, I am talking about Bridgerton and Game of Thrones, with almost no end in sight. The main issue I have with Instagram Face is because it's not like other temporary beauty fads. It's not a coral blush placed on your cheekbones, or the no makeup look, or even the 2016 full glam to gym class looks. This one is advertising real, permanent alterations and surgeries to people of all ages and backgrounds. It's not just a filter. It's a dream board for young adults and teens who don't yet have the money to operate. And I know I sound like a boomer or like an overprotective father, but this is one trend that is amplifying unrealistic beauty standards to a whole other level. It's one thing for a celebrity to get lip filler or a nose job, but then to be placing these modified faces in widely consumed media, it just plays it off as normal and as okay, which for consenting adults it is. But for the younger generations, as well as marginalized groups, it's so harmful because it's setting such an unrealistic standard. Not to mention, I for one just want to see someone who looks like me in a movie every now and then. It's to the point where I deliberately choose to watch videos, TV shows, and movies with more realistic body types. I try to de-influence the Instagram look and prioritize uniqueness with creators such as Markiplier, actors such as Elle Fanning, Will Poulter, Adam Sandler, Helena Bonham Carter, Jeremy Allen White, and so on, who are all, in my opinion, very attractive people. And yet they're all considered to be unconventionally attractive, which feels like a backhanded compliment. This is my official petition to bring back thin lips, rounded jaws, muffin tops, receding hairlines, dark circles, acne, tattoos, piercings, literally anyone that doesn't look like they've either been sculpted by the Greeks or sculpted on a plastic surgeon's table. I don't know, call me crazy, but if Instagram face is the beauty standard, I think I'd rather be ugly. Okay, rant over, but not really. We've covered what Instagram face is and the social why behind Instagram face, but we haven't talked about the business gains. If you think Instagram face was bad before, think of it this way: it's selling you something. Ever notice how all of the ads that run during an episode of Love Island circulate between Ozempic, him/hers for hair loss, Apple Watches for fitness tracking, or some sort of makeup cosmetic brand? You are a consumer. They're selling you beauty via the Instagram faces on TV. Even on TikTok, all the videos that go viral where the person's literally doing nothing but lip singing are typically a conventionally attractive person who meets today's current beauty standards. And if the beauty standard is Instagram face, then it's high cheekbones, no acne, no eye bags, so on and so forth. Maybe I'm just over analyzing. That wouldn't be too out of character for me. But if you don't already have an Instagram face, you can sure as hell expect social media to rub it in and sell you attractiveness at every turn. I've been on the front lines of most of these beauty trends before. It makes me sad to think of all the attractive and unique human beings out there that are being cast in the shadows to make room for superficial filters and cyborgian clones. I used to be a model for an agency in Chicago, and I was always told my looks would do better abroad. And I would watch the jobs and the clients that I wanted to work with go to models who looked like everyone else: skinny, tall, white, high cheekbones, cisgender, straight, etc. It was infuriating and still is. Why are we as a society so afraid of differences? And when they do diversify the models they select, it's for publicity. It's fake. It's, oh, let's have a runway show with all curvy models because yay, we're curve friendly. And then the curvy models are actually just like size sixes instead of a size zero. That's not inclusivity. That's you faking inclusivity for attention from a very specific group of people. In my opinion, if you have a Greek nose, perfect. Maybe it looks like your great grandmother's. You have freckles? I am so jealous. It makes you look more Irish. You have pronounced collarbones? Now you look like a sickly Victorian in a positive way. You have thick body hair? That's evolution, baby. Your ancestors survived to pass that trait along to you. But in the United States, our ancestors were immigrants and we've lost our connection to our roots, our beauty, our unique traits. The Instagram face is becoming our tradition. Like for me, I'm probably the whitest person you'll ever meet. Irish, Scottish, I think maybe French Canadian. What else? Definitely European, but like mostly white European. And I have nothing to show for it except for my grandpa's DNA test that came back and said we were what, like 2-3% Neanderthal? Yeah, so I'm a living Neanderthal. Do I look like one? I don't know, maybe. Maybe I have the nose of a Neanderthal. But my point is that I don't have any culture to look back on and say, oh, this is a feature that was passed down through generations of others like me that can make me feel more comfortable and confident in what I now show to the world. Like, I know that my chin maybe looks like my grandma's, but she's not around anymore, so I can't be like, oh, look at it, I look like my grandma. And people say I look like my mom, but that's mostly because we both have curly hair. And when we stand side by side, apparently our smiles look very similar. But that's not innately Dutch. That's not innately Scottish. It's just curly hair that looks similar. So for me, it's really hard to be able to look in the mirror and say, I come from somewhere. I would be accepted in that place because I look like my people. Because I don't really have people. And my family's whack. None of us look alike. We all have different eye colors, for Pete's sake. And my biology teacher told me that was weird. Yeah, fun fact. In eighth grade, I went to my biology teacher and we were talking about dominant and recessive genes. And Me and my sister both did this with different biology teachers. And I went up to him and I was like, okay, so what does it mean if my mom has green eyes, my dad has hazel eyes, I have blue eyes, and my sister has brown eyes? And he literally just goes, I don't know, your family's weird. Like, what do you mean? Anyways, it's so frustrating because humanity is meant to be imperfect. It's like telling a tree it's ugly during winter, but then not waiting around to watch the flowers bloom. And once we realize our differences and insecurities are what make each one of us special, only then can we stop holding ourselves to these impossible standards. So, to calm myself down, I'm going to give this all some space. You're welcome to join me if this episode has got you feeling some type of way. I'm going to start by taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, trying to remember all of the features that make me unique and attractive in my own ways, knowing that what I see online isn't my reality. I don't need to alter my face to look like everyone else. I don't need a six pack of abs. Beer I would take all day though. I don't need a chiseled jawline, clear, textureless skin, bright under eyes, or any of what I'm influenced to believe I need. I'm going to remember the celebrities, friends, adults, coworkers, partners, families, and others in my life that I find beauty in. I'm going to remind myself that there was a time before cell phones, before cameras, even before mirrors, where beauty was literally an afterthought. I don't need to be conventionally attractive to make my life enjoyable and live life to the fullest of my abilities. And finally, I'm going to remind myself that each person struggles with their own issues. Maybe some of you listeners feel the same as I do about Instagram face and beauty standards. Maybe some of you are even more passionate about it than I am. And maybe some of you couldn't give less of a shit and just want me to stop talking, to which I say, fair. I apologize. Actually, no, I don't apologize because I'm on here for a reason and I have something to say and you're going to listen. And if you're still listening, then period. Love you. Anyways. And maybe part of my concern comes from my own insecurities, and that's valid. I can acknowledge that I'm imperfect and that I often feel like I'm not attractive enough. But I can also acknowledge that my insecurities are made worse by the never ending cycle of Instagram face variations being shoved before me and everyone else on a daily basis. When all I really want to do is watch funny cat videos on TikTok before bed, not be told how many different ways there are to fix my receding hairline from influencers that haven't even been using the product for longer than a week to really know if it works. So, the moral of the story is I need to take a social media break, which is kind of hard when you're a podcaster if you think about it. But I think we could all use a little space every now and then from the reality on our phones because there's so much beauty beyond the screen. And oftentimes, the beauty you see on the screen is just a filter. Thank you so much for listening. I'm grateful that you're here. This is Give It Space, your virtual room to slow down, breathe, and just be for a moment. If you want to support this podcast and me, you can get updates and sneak peeks into upcoming episodes on Instagram at Give It Space Pod, which has a link in the bio where you'll find a TikTok and Patreon listed. I'm always happy to hear your feedback or thoughts for future topics, so shoot me an email at giveitspacepod@gmail.com. I'm your host, Vin, and I'll see you next time. Pause for intro song. Ding, 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 ding. Still going. Because the intro's like 23 seconds. Okay. It's not a coral blush Wow. Words. English, my guy. It's not a coral blush paste. Oh my god. Why can't I say that? Only then can we stop hiding ourselves. Wait, no. Only then can we stop holding ourselves to these impossible standards.